he just blessed as far as that go with the ability to not only have like top end speed, but he accelerates fast as well, and then he's quick too. It's good to have somebody like that because he an awesome change up to what you already have in the room.
Perry came in with so much expectations. I'm sure he would have wanted to play more than he played last year. How did you see him? How have you seen him? I guess mature, develop. Looking into year two, what's the?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is that is year two, and you could tell that he's more confident. So some of the things that you had to coach a year prior, you don't have to coach because you already know what the standard is, and now you can fine tune. Like now it's more fine tuning the things that he already have and getting him to continue to show consistency and practice at a high level. It's about consistency with whatever you do.
How did he handle last year? I mean, is he mentally in a good place? Did he think he would be more of a contributor and he wasn't? Like, where's he at?
Yeah, he's in a good spot, and I think that's due to not only the relationship that I have with him, but the relationship among the guys in the room. We all honest with each other, and we all know the things that we need to work on, and I think that's where it started. Just being transparent and hey, this is this is why you didn't play, and these are the things to work on. And if you could do these things at a consistent level, then you'll play more, and you would have played more. And then also, he had Keandre Lambert-Smith in front of him too, and so it was. I actually think it was a blessing for him to see somebody do it at a high level, because not only was Keandre a good football, a game player, he was one of the best practice players I've ever been around as well. So he got to see a foundation, and now the sky could be the limit for him if he could stay consistent. But I think, to answer your question, I think he handled it great, especially with all the expectations that he came in with.
You mentioned KLS. We talked to him at Pro Day a little bit, a couple hours ago, and he said that those freshmen that he tried to set an example for last year, he's really seen them take a big leap just in the off season. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I say that for sure, and it's just like the little stuff, like the demeanor and knowing like what to expect, because they all good football players, and I think that was big even for Rob and Dre to come back and see like, oh, these my little brothers, but man, they looking like, you could tell that they're more comfortable in what's being asked. So I think that's what Dre was getting at more than anything, and he actually had a chance to talk to him after practice. And so that's always good when they hear it from a different voice, because they hear it from Coach Davis daily. And so it's always, they hear it from Coach Dito, they hear it from Coach Mo, all of us, they hear it from us. So it was good for them to hear it from the brother that's been gone for a couple months.
Coach, to kind of expound on that, Keandre talked about the responsibility you instilled in him last year, being a veteran in the locker room. Who have you kind of gave that responsibility to this year?
Well, that's still something, that I want to see out of the group, and they all know that I want to see who rise to the occasion. The good thing is we got a bunch of good young men, and I think it could be a collective of guys that do it. With Cam, with the experience that he had coming back with the most production, he's not a talker, but his actions, he more of a doer. And shoot, every day, in individual drills, he ain't talking about it, but he the first one that's taking the reps when we're in our individual drills. So little things like that. You see that's coming along. But I think it's a collective, but I want to see who rise to the occasion for sure.
Malcolm maybe wasn't the most highly regarded coming in, obviously with Coleman and Perry, and yet he was super productive as a true freshman. What would be the next step for him to take?
Yeah, just continue to do the little things, and just being a disciplined football player, because he's God gifted, he's talented, and he is. That's just what it is. But you could be that way, but you also need the discipline of the game, and so you could be a complete receiver. And it's one-on-one talks that we had, and he's been responding awesome. Like, man, I'm excited about the guys, because it's like they growing up right before my eyes, like, and I could see the difference. Like, they ain't just nodding their head when I'm communicating with them. It's actually substance behind it now, and so I feel really good about guys like Malcolm and with him taking that next step.
How would you describe the skill set Horatio brings? What kind of a player is he?
Yeah, he a do it right guy. He want to be fundamental and technically sound in everything that he do. He played a lot of football, so he understands leverage. He understands, timing and space as far as perimeter blocking. And then he's a big frame, big target, big body guy. You see it on his college tape from Wake Forest where he's making plays down the field because of his big frame. So he's still learning. He's still learning the offense. He's still learning everything that comes with being a receiver here. And I think he'll be able to add some value here.
Is there something to be said for, Cam had so much playing time, and then obviously now he's in his second season. Is there a level now where you can go kind of even deeper with him, with all of the freshman stuff out of the way?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was trying to get at when I was saying like it's more substance when I'm talking football with him, because it's recall now and it's something to bounce off of. And shoot, I could coach him up now and coach off a play that he had in a live game, or just give him that recall. And so I think that's what's been the best thing about going into year 2. And you could just tell when that joker in his stance, he's more comfortable now. Like he's just more comfortable and he's more acclimated to the college game.
How important is it for them right now to be getting so many reps with Jackson and Deuce? Those are the only 2 guys, so they're getting a lot of reps at QB.
Super important, and I know those guys got out there ever since we've been back in January. Just getting familiar with each other and getting familiar with all the quarterbacks as far as routes on there and all of those things. But it's super important, and not only for the receivers, but for the quarterbacks as well. So it's invaluable reps that they get in. Man, I love the springtime because you can really dive into the little things.
Marcus, what was that portal process like with Eric? I mean, you get the first visit, but then you have to sweat out a couple more going to see some other schools. What was the communication like and being able to bring him?
Man, he was always good with his communication throughout the process. It was never a stop in it, but you did hold your breath when you go into those other places. But I wouldn't be all the way real if I didn't mention Kenyatta and the help and how steady he was throughout the process as well. And so it was good working relationship with Kenyatta too, on making that thing happen with the prior relationships that was already there. So man, it was kind of sometimes where you had to hold your breath because you know how good of a player he is, but the communication never stopped. So you just had to trust the process and see where it goes.